Namaste. So I have a few comments on Vedanta-sūtra 112. Janmad yasya yataha. That Brahman is where everything is coming from. Janma means birth. Asya means all. Yataha means coming. So, why do we say Brahman or define Brahman as the source of everything? Because in manifestation, in phenomena, in beingness, there is a need for a creator. When we enter into duality, we take a form, we have a name, we have activities, possessions, and the whole load of baggage comes along with it. Space, time, physics, chemistry. The whole process of manifestation and unmanifestation. My God, it's so complicated. And we've gone through this before in our talks on Paticca-samuppada. But what I want to focus on right this second are the threefold ignorance. Everybody wants to know, how did the Brahman, how did the original self become entangled in the material creation? This is a question asked by many searchers, and really no theologians have been able to answer it very well. But the Buddha gives a very straightforward answer. There's a threefold ignorance: lust, hatred, and delusion. If you see a tanka of Mahakali in a Buddhist temple, you'll see in the middle, right in the center, it's like a yin-yang, but with three, whatever those things are. They look like paisleys. Why three? Because desire is the first conception leading to manifestation. I want something. I want to be something, or have something, or do something, or think something, or feel something. I have some desire. So I begin the process of manifestation. And then the other kind of ignorance is hatred. I hate that. I don't want that. So now we have two forms of desire. I want that and I don't want that. So both are illusory, both are impermanent, and both cause suffering. The original desire, when it's frustrated, turns into hatred, anger, frustration. And that leads to delusion. And what is delusion? Ignorance. Not knowing the real truth. So, one's original, intuitive, direct knowledge, jnana, is covered over by these three things: lust, hatred, and delusion. Now, I feel intuitively that these correspond to the three stages or types of consciousness: waking consciousness, dreaming consciousness, and deep sleep. Because the desire is the characteristic of waking consciousness, isn't it? I want this, I want that, I'm going to go here and do this and that to get it. And that's my plan. But then dreaming, Dreaming is actually just another kind of consciousness where the mind constructs a temporary world. And we have a form and activities within that temporary world. But what is it based on? The mind is based on fear. The mind, if you look at it in the context of evolution, is a mechanism to protect the body from being hurt the way it was hurt in the past. So we have memory, and then we have a predictive mechanism looking forward and seeing, well, is this situation starting to look like one of those times in the past when I got hurt? See, and the mind is always worrying about that, always casting into the future, always dreaming up new scenarios of how things could go wrong, isn't it? The mind is a worry wart. The mind is based on fear, and hatred is also based on fear. I don't want this to happen. So, of course, in the subconscious or in the dream world, then we go through many scenarios of things that we don't want to happen, or that we think are likely to happen, or that maybe we missed in our waking consciousness experience. And then finally, deep sleep is equivalent to delusion. Not to be conscious of anything. Complete blank. Ramana Maharshi says, actually in deep sleep, the being is resting in Brahman, but doesn't know it. See, our separation from our original self, separation from Brahman, is so exhausting. We have to come up with an individual self. We have to constantly maintain that individual self. It's an effort because we have to construct and construe things that are not our identification with the body, for example, or the senses, or the mind, or our possessions, or our plans, our desires, and so forth, on and on and on. So these three types of material consciousness are actually types of ignorance. So considering that we are covered over by ignorance, how could we be the creators? You see? So as soon as we enter duality, as soon as we enter manifestation, there is a need for a God, a supreme authority, a supreme power, who creates our world. So you see where I'm going with this? Jnana looks at it completely the other way around. See, when you're in non-duality, now you can see very clearly that consciousness, or really awareness, with or without an object, creates the world. So what is the proof of that? Oh, I love this because Ramana Maharshi has given this again and again, and it's so elegant and pure and true, and nobody can argue with it because it's everyone's experience that at night when we go to sleep, this whole world and gods and goddesses and nature and phenomena and stuff disappears. Poof, it's gone. And instead, we're in the dream world. And all this crazy stuff is happening, right? And then we go into deep sleep, and we're not even aware of the dream world. There's just nothing. But actually, as Ramana points out, we are resting in Brahman. Without Brahman, we have no power. We have no life. We have no existence. And certainly we have no world. But when we're in Brahman, when we realize Brahman, when we're conscious of Brahman, we see that Brahman creates this whole show, like the projectionist in a movie theater. Brahman is up there with the projector and all these reels, and it's changing from one movie to another, either in waking consciousness or in dreaming consciousness. And then in deep sleep, the projector is turned off. Let it cool off for a while. But when we are identified with Brahman, we realize, I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this to myself. Why? It's just entertainment. It has no meaning, really. It's just fun. It's play, like a child's play. A child may take blocks, and these blocks could be anything. They could be airplanes. They can be dinosaurs. They can be whatever the child wants them to be, skyscrapers or whatever. And he can pile them up and put them in different configurations and then smash the whole thing. Start all over again. It's just play. What did you do, Johnny? Nothing. Well, where did you go? No place. But if we were to follow Johnny with a hidden camera, we'd see he's going here, he's going there, he's doing this, he's doing that, picking up rocks, throwing them at birds or whatever. But the point is, what he was doing was just play. It didn't have any serious meaning. So, in play, there is no consistency, there is no lasting value to anything. Things can be arbitrary, things can be contradictory, things can be just plain weird, like in dreams. It's play. It doesn't matter. So, by giving Brahman the role of the creator of the world, we take it off our shoulders. We take the burden off of our minds. It's not I'm doing this, but God is doing this. I didn't make this situation. God did. To teach me a lesson or whatever. And this shifts the burden of worry off of our minds. Because now whatever happens is up to God. I am God's property. He created me. So whatever happens to me, it's His business. It's not my business. I'm just a spectator. I'm just a watcher, a seer, a witness. I'm detached. I'm not the cause. I don't play favorites. I don't have desires for or against. And gradually, by this practice, one becomes detached. And there is no more identification with the body and the mind and so on, because that's all ignorance. But that one becomes aware of awareness, like we talked about last night. So the strategy of Vedanta in declaring Brahman to be the creator doesn't mean that Brahman does anything, because he doesn't do anything, he doesn't change, he doesn't act. He simply is. And what is he? He is what he is. And he is everything. And that's how our world comes to be. Om Tat Sat. Om Harihi Om.